All right, welcome to the first of 6 videos concerning policy writing. So let's talk about the University of Denver. DU makes choices about what it charges for tuition and what it costs for room and board and what scholarships it offers and how it develops the local district or what services and programs and like the Health and Counseling Center and Inclusive Excellence. They make a lot of choices on how it deals with the student body. So does the City of Denver. The City of Denver makes choices about how it deals with residents and how it develops the city and whether it should extend a light rail from Union Station to DIA or Union Station out into Boulder or how it funds schools or there's a lot of choices there that the City of Denver makes. Same thing with an individual school, right? Even a high school, they make choices about after-school curriculum, they make choices about sexual education, they make choices about how they deal with minority students or how they deal with students who don't have strong and stable homes seriously, schools, like cities, like universities, also make huge and wide-ranging decisions. And for the state of Colorado, maybe this is I-70. They make choices about how they'll develop out into ski resorts or how they will preserve environmental stability and ecology in the area, and make sure that when we build I-70 or when we expand it, or maybe if we eventually add a light rail line or a train up to the ski resort, that we preserve environmental sustainability of the areas and we don't negatively impact the ecology of that route. Really, any decision that lawmakers make in the Colorado State Capitol has to do with the people of our state, and it will have impacts on how cities develop, on how schools work, on how families live, on so many wide-ranging topics. And the same goes for the National or Federal Congress as well. All of those choices are policies. They are the rules of the game. They are the thing lawmakers saying, we are going to choose to do this. That's taxation rates, that's how we deal with inequality, that's how we deal with international development. Everything is a choice. Everything and every decision that a policymaker or someone in power makes is an obvious choice, and they have alternatives. They could not do it. They could do something different. So policy change is an institutional change to a rule or a law. The difference between policy and a program, the program itself is a community garden. This is an important distinction. A program is like a community garden. A policy is a change to zoning laws that makes community gardens easier. Don't get too restricted by this. Just keep in mind that policies are about rules. Policies are about things that people make. Sometimes the best way to solve an issue is through a policy change that results in a program. And we can talk about that more in depth. Everything that we do here at Roosevelt, everything you should do in policy writing is about your ideas. It's about what you're passionate about. And don't restrict yourself to thinking only about one sphere of influence, right? There's a lot of different levels you can influence in policy, and a lot of different areas that policy exists. DU, the Denver metro area, the whole city and county of Denver, the state of Colorado, the entire western region, the United States, international developments in other countries and global institutions. Everyone in a position of power makes decisions. So, there are a lot of different areas that you can focus in on policy as well. Defense and diplomacy, broadly speaking, is like international affairs, security, development, economic development, or how cities develop, how people live in cities, how we deal with income inequality, how we deal with jobs and taxes, education reform. There's energy and environmental policy and how we deal with climate change. There's, broadly speaking, equal justice, which is both social justice and civil rights, but also political reform and healthcare issues like the obesity epidemic or women's access to abortion. Seriously, there are tons of different areas that policy exists in. And don't, when you think about policy, restrict yourself to this list. So, what I want you to do, just to kick off this discussion, is to identify 3 problems or issues you want to focus on. And the main criteria here is this is an issue you could dedicate yourself to for a long time. Maybe not life's work, but definitely something that is important to you and something that you really want to focus on. And it could be any part of those policy areas. It could be at any level. Again, don't restrict yourself just to the state government. Also think about what DU can do. Also think even about what individual high schools can do or boards of education. So I'm just talking about different spheres. You don't have to focus on education. You can focus on really any policy area that you want to. So identify 3 problems or issues that you want to focus on. Just generic issues, generic problems, before you watch the next video, because it's really important that you have these.